You've made your way down the coastline to the Grinding Waste Crossroads again, a familiar place. And as you pull into the area, you notice something moving in the crossroads ahead. It's been a mildly eventful trip. You've had to avoid some of the undead that are starting to push past Rookwald into the coastal areas, but nothing too bad yet. They've become more and more sparse as you've gotten towards this place. So now you're free to continue. I said that in the wrong order, but...
Do you think they've got some new handsome prisoners here?
I mean, they didn't last time, so I don't imagine so.
You need to get your eyes checked.
Check for what?
Dirt, I suppose.
No, I'm pretty sure I washed that disguise off. Oh, I'm pretty sure I washed that disguise off.
Talking
Just
about eyes.
to the distance.
What's that? I didn't hear you, Jothier. Say again. I'm sorry.
I was saying, Jothier squints into the distance and says, I can't make out those shapes. Are those more cages?
I mean, the cages have probably always been there.
Just doing a quick sweep around, just for observation's sake. You know, I can look on the screen from my character's perspective and see that there's some light projecting on the far right of whatever that ruin is over there. Do we hear any sound of actual people here other than maybe cage people? You know, on the other side of the ruin over there to the... What direction? I guess it'd be towards...
Light projecting over there?
Yeah, like I just put the arrow on it so it'd be easier to be.
Oh, yes. Go ahead and roll, all of you. We'll do that. Perception.
That's presence, right?
Yes, go ahead and roll presence.
Bertie.
8.
You actually don't even
sight.
You don't even see
Wait,
that
I see
light.
the light, but I don't seem to care about anything. Okay,
looks
whatever.
pretty dark
Whatever.
over there.
Well, I'm sure he sees the light, but just doesn't think about it.
Perfectly natural.
Yeah, whatever. There's torches everywhere, right?
It actually is. That's just, I think, another torch. I think the light may actually be off because it may have
Why am I on the ground?
Is this your...
You're not.
Yeah, you're not, actually. You're supposed to be in character, too. Actually, might
But
be
you
on the
believe
ground.
me.
No, I am.
Where is he?
Honestly, I am. I'm on the ground.
He fell out of the cart.
You
just-
felt-
He didn't
my
get
feet
loaded.
are
All right.
on the
Well,
ground.
apparently, then
He fell
you just woke up, and now you found yourself. You rolled out of the cart.
You sat up really hard. The horse had to dodge you. You probably landed in some horse hockey. It's the term of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going back to the presence, like I was saying, I like this new sight. I just rolled a 20.
Okay. Yeah. You you see a little animal of some kind in the road, and you see it playing or nudging or sniffing, or it's clearly interested in something, and that's in the middle of the crossroads up here.
Do I see this too?
What did you get?
13.
You see the animal You
so
see
I
it
get, well,
there. Did you roll? I don't know. What did you get?
I'm saying, should I?
Everybody has to.
Looks like you stood up just in time.
What's it called again? Prescience?
Yep.
9.
You just see stuff. This place looks the same old boring place it did last time to you. That's your horse next to you. Let me give it back to you, actually. There you go. You can get on your horse now. There you go. Okay. So everybody knows what they see now?
Yes.
I see
Okay.
nothing.
What's that? And then Jothir would kind of ride a little closer, but stop his horse because he said it's on the ground. He would dismount, walk over to the item, kind of hold his torch close to it.
So you want to ride straight up to the crossroads is what you're saying?
Yeah, we didn't see any other people,
No.
so he's gonna be very curious in that item.
Okay. You said you're going to dismount?
Yes.
I'll dismount as well.
Carefully walk up.
What is that? What is that? Is that a dog?
You really need to get your eyes checked.
Why does a dog have horns?
Maybe because it isn't one.
Oh dear me, I thought that was... maybe I do need to get my eyes checked.
That's a goat eye, so it is.
All right. You see a little chestnut goat. That looks pretty familiar. And you see it sort of
It
nudging around some body parts in the road.
So I'm guessing me, Nana, and Iso know this damn goat.
Juthir might not actually recognize it. He wasn't there.
Yeah, me, Iso, and no. Oh my god, Niana know.
Yes. Correct.
Wait a minute. That's that goat. What's it doing the way up here?
And why is it nudging around body parts?
You hear
Whose
a
body parts are these?
woman's voice laughing. And then you hear another woman's voice. It's not really screaming, but very loudly you hear it saying, "Telenora! Telenora!"
Tell Anora what?
Who's there? I shout.
You hear some footsteps on the ruins behind you.
They turn
Woman.
to face.
Woman steps outside and the little goat runs over to her.
Where's Noodlewing Neither? Who the hell are you? I shout.
Probably the owner of the goat.
She pats the goat on the head and then walks slowly towards you, and it follows her. We heard you wanted to help us. And she looks at Nyana.
Who are the us in this?
You wanted to help us find the key.
Oh, you are. You mean the cultists we encountered?
Ah. Yes, yes.
Yes, unfortunately we have not had any luck finding this key.
He's very close to finding it, you know. He could use your help once he does.
Oh, thank you for sorting out that horse. Alright, who's this he?
Sarakanath. He's the one that's going to close the portal and stop the undead from coming through it.
So I can say that again in English.
It's the name of the demon that we heard about in Doomguard.
Oh, that's
ISO whispers, towards Loxen.
oh, I see.
So what does this key look like?
It's really a weapon. We don't know for sure what it is, but he's very close to finding it now. And once he does, you can get it. You can bring it to Sarakanath, and he will stop the undead from coming through.
What prevents us from using the weapon ourselves?
She laughs, a little maniacally. You don't know how to use it.
And you don't know where to find it?
But we will soon. He's very close.
But if he's so close, then why do you need our help?
I don't know all of his plans or his reasons. But he'll need a group to go get it for him. He doesn't have unlimited power. Not yet. And she smiles and starts to pat the goat on the head.
That goat of yours, Eleonora, was it? Why'd you name her that?
Oh, that's not my goat's name. That was my friend. She's going through something difficult. We were just talking.
Looks around and looks back at the pieces on the ground behind him, wondering if that's difficulty.
Difficult in what way?
She's been through a lot. I found her. And she's just having problems recovering. She actually smiles to herself and just starts staring at the goat and petting the goat. It was a bit of an ordeal.
What happened?
She was killed, or she sort of shrugs, nearly killed. I'm helping her. Don't worry.
I gesture to the body parts on the ground and ask the woman, did this have anything to do with it?
She looks beyond you, towards the body parts, then looks back at the goat, shaking her head. No.
Well, anyway, this has been fascinating conversation, but, I think we were just passing through. If we see the key on the way to Rookwald in the shrine, we'll let you know. How do we let you know? What's the best way?
You won't find it. Only he can find it.
How can
I'll
we
find you,
him?
though, if you promise to help us once he does.
Well, things have gotten a bit tangled of late, mostly due to promises in the past. I tend to have a problem with not keeping them, most times.
Yes, he knows
How
all
about I
about your
just-
promises.
Maybe we should just leave with, we'll do our best to consider should we run into it. If we're not going to find it anyway, then I don't want to waste your time. Surprised you met with us. You seem busy leading a cult, according to the ones we met. I assume that's a busy position.
She shrugs. They do as they're told.
You sound like my father. He considered.
And we don't even know your name. Miss...
Odin.
As in Odin... The one who helped the Ilfar? Sort of people, and shit.
She just looks at Loxon and stares at him for a moment and then just shakes her head yes and then goes back to petting the goat. You know, we're going to find this key. And I'm afraid if you don't help us, we're going to have to get someone else to help us.
But how can we help you if you just said that he's the one that's going to find it?
Yes, and we'll come find you. We'll tell you where it's at. And you can bring it to him. And he can stop the undead. Nobody else will even try to stop the undead.
How do you know that?
She smiles and gives another little maniacal laugh. Sarakanath knows everything.
You don't believe the efforts of Lord Kennison are genuine?
What do you mean?
Well, he seems to be willing to fight the undead.
Because he's willing to fight doesn't mean he can. I promise you. This is the only way to stop them. To use this key. At the portal.
I suppose we'll stay in touch. Or at least you will with us.
You don't seem convinced.
I'm a very hard man to convince.
As of late, I've begun to realize that not everyone can be trusted.
Seems quite the opposite.
Allow me to...
How would you figure a demon would save this world from an undead invasion? Why would he do that? Assuming it's a he.
She stops for a minute and looking at Iso with some dead eyes. And then just smiles. I'll let you ask him yourself. Jothier, you hear some footsteps in the ruins behind her. It's almost like 2 sets of footsteps.
But I can't see them.
And slowly they emerge and stop, resting behind her.
Damn, you McMing.
Odin reaches around from behind
What's
her
that?
back.
I suspect that's the demon.
And so, like, instinctively, like, I don't know, squeezes his staff, I guess. Probably has it with him.
Odin
Yeah, I
reaches
wait for my
behind
plus side.
herself and grabs her book. Opens it up. Just gives you a dismissive wave. You wouldn't have a chance. You can put those away. Ask him your questions.
That thing there is
I think that's Saraganov.
Yes. Now put your weapons away. She gets very adamant and angry looking.
Just do it, guys. It's not worth it.
Jothier steps forward just a little bit to get a better look at this creature. And
I suggest
says
not
to
to.
it,
You lift his torch a little bit. I'm just going to move you closer so you can see it.
and I asked the demon, "You really want to close the portal? You really want to stop the undead?"
When you ask the question, Odin looks to Sarokanoth, then to the book. And then she looks up at you. He's the only one that will close the portal. Your friends at Dungard and their allies will not. They will not use the key to stop the undead from coming through. They have other plans for it.
Saraganov, why are you so certain? We need the key.
She looks down at the book again. And then looks up. It's the only way to stop the undead from coming through. This is the only way.
What will happen after you close the portal?
She looks down to read. And then looks up. The undead will cease to come through. You will have to deal with the remaining undead. But no more will come through the portal.
Does that mean that the portal will be closed?
She looks down again to read. And then she looks back up. The portal is bringing the undead here from somewhere else.
So
The portal is bringing the undead here from somewhere else. The key will sever the connection to that place.
What is that place, anyways?
The realm of the undead. She answers that without even looking down to the book. The ones who brought the portal here. They're the ones that opened it.
And who brought the portal here then?
They're from another realm. Another place. The portal was sent here to break this world. The undead were simply the chosen means.
I have two questions.
She nods.
One is, what does Sirach get out of helping in this manner?
She looks at Sarakanath, smiles, and then looks down at the book. Looks up. Demons and the undead. They don't get along. They're not on the same team. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I think so. He stands to gain influence. We'll go with that. Second question. And I'm gonna have to dig through my notes because I'm struggling with the spelling on those. However I spelled those Knight Rider skeleton guys.
Stygilus.
Do you remember the Stygilus? Did the Stygilus also come through the portal, or are they related to this in general?
She gives you an odd look, then looks at Sarakanath, and you see it give what looks like a nod, and then she turns to you. The Stygilus are half undead, half demonic, possessed at the moment of undeath. They are neither allies of demon or undead. They are the reason it's dark now. They are the reason this world is in decay. They tried this very thing 100 years ago. And it nearly ended the world. And now they're trying again. They don't want the portal to be stopped either.
Have you perhaps heard of someone named Macris?
Yes. Good question.
She frowns, doesn't say anything, just gives a simple nod.
What role does he play in this?
Meddler, she says in an annoyed tone. He is no one's ally but his own. Much like your Lord Gannison.
How would we stop the Stygilus? It was done before, we have heard in some histories. So it is said. Do we have to do it the same way, and if so, how is it done?
With the key. The key will give Sirach power over both the Stygilus and the undead. He will use the key to kill the Stygilus. He will not kill the undead. You have to do that yourselves. That is what he's willing to pay you in return for bringing him the key.
If the key can be used to close the portal, can it be used to open it again to other places?
She looks at Sarakanoth. Then the book. Yes.
Then what's to stop you from infecting a different realm yourself?
She looks to the book. We have no army. There's me, Sarakanoth, and our followers, who are few in number, for now. You also don't have a lot of time.
How were the Stygilus stopped in the past?
She's reading the book once more. Looks at Sarakanoth with a little confusion. But he nods towards your group assembled here. And she looks at them. How much do you know about Doongard?
Tell us everything. Probably know nothing compared to the long lifespan of a demon.
She smiles, turns to Sarakanoth and says they have no idea. She then begins reading the book, looks up. You should ask them. If you hear it from Sarakanoth, you may not trust us.
That's fair.
But if you hear it from them...
Definitely put it on the list.
They have the answer, even if they don't know it. But the answer lies with Doongard.
What would Sirach tell me so that I have something to gauge against their answer? I'd like to see if it's similar. That'll help me know if all these other questions are trustworthy. Because Doongard has no reason to lie to me, right? They're good people.
Ask them, what is the purpose of Doongard? Why is that keep there? And why was it built?
I suppose to stop the undead. That seems to be their specialty.
She gives a little crazy chuckle to herself. In a way.
Maybe the wastes weren't always the wastes. History goes back very far. But what would Sirach tell me is the answer, so I can bounce that off them?
She puts a hand on the goat. Gives it a couple pats on the head. They will answer honestly. The commander will. Ask her. She will not lie to you about that. Especially since you were instrumental in keeping its purpose alive. The answer she gives you will be correct. She looks down at her book, then looks up. The body you're carrying to the shrine right now. She nods her head towards it. Take it to the shrine. Cut the head off. Place it in the offering bowl for the dark gods at the center of the shrine. Burn the rest of the body.
Why exactly?
As an offering to Sarakanath, so that we'll know you're willing to help.
It seems everybody has some interest in this body, one way or the other. I have 3 different instructions so far.
You only need concern yourself with one.
I'd say that's still our decision to make.
As I said, if you don't help us, we'll find someone who will.
You want a sign from us that we'll help you, but what's your sign to us? What's our guarantee?
You're not dead, are you?
Neither are you.
Yes, and I put my trust in Sarakanath. I'm still here. I'm the one that summoned him. I'm the one that leads his followers. And I'm still here.
My concern is more when we are not so useful anymore. When he has the key, and all is said and done. How do we know our world isn't something he's going to open that portal up again to somewhere he might have more forces?
She looks at him, and then at the book. She smiles. Says, "You're running out of time. You don't have many choices left." If you tell your friends at Doonguard about the key, they won't use it. They would rather the undead keep coming through.
What makes you so sure that we can't figure out how to make the key work?
You won't find the key before us. As I said, we're close. Very close. She has a little bit of edge to her voice. She's talking about the key. She seems very confident, certain.
We will consider your offer.
Consider quickly. There are many forces looking for the key. And she points up, and the darkness will call more. Will you help us or not?
We'll think about it on the way to the Rookwald Shrine. Sounds like we have a good way to get an acceptance letter your way, if we choose to.
Does he speak for all of you?
He speaks for me.
And me.
I think time to discuss your proposal would be wise.
She closes the book, scowling. When you reach your destination, it might be too late.
Then we better depart quickly. As I walk to my horse.
Into your horse too, Jothir?
What would you say?
Are you heading to your horse too?
Yeah, I'm following through, so mount me with them and ride off with them if that's where they're going.
Her and the demon just watch you quietly as you mount the horses.
Alright, let's do this over with. As I ride off.
Give Odin a nod. and start riding.
You've spent about another day traveling. Had plenty of time to talk. As you approach the shrine here, this fog sets in. It hasn't really followed you the entire way. It's definitely something that has been here. It didn't just appear. So, did you have something you wanted to discuss before you walked in? Like I heard you during the break talk about.
So what do you say, ladies and gents? Are we thinking about cutting off this bloke's head, offering it up? Do we care about Magrus anymore? Are we just gonna throw him in the dirt? So many options.
My choice is to simply bury him to the east of the shrine as we promised to the man's friend.
I agree for once. I don't believe anyone. So I don't believe any of what those two were saying. And if it causes some pressures between them and us, we'll just deal with it, like before.
And what if we split the difference?
Huh?
You know, what if we cut out his heart and cut off his head and bury him without burning? Like, make all three of them happy or unhappy, depending on how you look at it.
I don't think that's how it works, Iso.
And I have no interest in colluding with a demon.
What about Magrus?
I mean, for what you guys told me what he looks like, and he seems. I mean, he doesn't seem to be trusted.
There was an opportunity at the time.
You know, that's what we should have asked that woman back there, is if she had a way to conceal or undo that mark that Magrus had mentioned.
We've been informed that there's an opportunity of that at Doomguard. I stick with the plan that we should inform there.
Sorry, I was not paying attention. Informed of what?
Going to Doomguard, that we would be informed of getting rid of the mark there.
Yeah, I agree. If anyone knows how to get rid of this markets, it has to be Doomguard.
Real quick, out of character question, just because given my character's background, I feel he would know the answer to this. The shrine here, is this the graveyard for all of Ruckwald?
No, this is a shrine where people go. You know, if they have a big disaster coming, they come here to pray that it doesn't come, or if they get someone really sick, they pray to. They just come here, give an
Sacred
offering,
site, lots
say a
of
prayer.
pantheons.
What's that?
It's like a sacred site with lots of pantheons or whatever, right?
Yes. It's just a sacred site. Everybody knows about it. If you haven't been here before, you've definitely heard about it. It's not a secret. Everybody knows about it. This is where, if you believe in the gods or a god or something along those lines, you come here. This is the happening place for those groups of people.
Are we arriving from the north?
You don't know which way is east?
Yes.
Actually, well, I didn't really pay attention to when I designed this map. East is going to be the other side of the shrine over there, the far side.
All right.
Let me double check because of the map I made. Because
Yeah,
the
the
path.
compass says east is to the left of us, how we're facing.
Yeah, I
That
didn't
checks out.
design the map with the compass though, so give me 1 sec. Let me look at the map I
Oh.
made in Discord in the channel I pinned. Because you went through the crossroads, which means you came from. Actually, probably should have been coming from the other side. So this would be the east side. No, the other side would be the east side. I'm pretty sure. Let me just look. Yeah, the east would be the far side. I actually started you on the wrong side. Well, we can just say there's only one entrance, but the east would be the far side of the area. There's only one road in, one road out. How about that? But the east would be the far side of the shrine. Looking at my map. Go ahead and actually roll your perceptions too.
$13.
Okay.
17.
11.
Isa?
Sorry, my vacuum just drove by me. What was the question?
Roll your perception. $18. Okay, so everybody but Nyana. All right. Good to know. All right. Carry forward. Or continue, whatever you want to do. East is to the far side.
So, out of character, cue Jothir's idea.
Waiting.
Jothir looks over to the body of the dead watchman and just kind of says to the group wistfully, you know, it's a real shame that we couldn't have spoken with him again. We did find his journal, but obviously he didn't write down what happened to him. We only know what the townspeople said. It'd be nice to know if these knights are a true threat, especially with what that woman said, if we can trust them.
Yeah, it would definitely answer some questions.
If only someone could.
That is an interesting idea. You know, I did purchase a scroll when we were in Bone Drift. The magic says it should allow 3 questions to a deceased creature. Do you think I should try it?
Now, why didn't you say this before?
Oh, I mean, I forgot, and I had no reason to think to question any of the dead we've encountered. Most of them are walking around lately.
And talking to dead is not exactly a novelty. I suggest we do this in a different setting, though.
Maybe not in the shrine. I think I might feel a little dirty. Can we go off the side of the road and try it here? Maybe by that tree to the left of us on the hill.
As good a place as any.
Oh, let's go. Oh, crap.
Just X and then right click on
Yeah,
the
got it.
ground. You'll be alright. Jyothi, are you following them?
Yes.
Well, gather round, everyone. Do you know what questions you want to ask? I don't know how long this lasts.
Well, we should have
I
probably
guess we get-
prioritized how he died.
3.
You know what? Since we're arguing about it all the way here, why not ask him what how he wants to be buried?
You know,
Yes, that's what.
Well, he would probably not want his heart to be cut out.
Yeah, or head chopped off, but you know.
you know what kind of answers you can get with that scroll? Is it
No,
one-word
there's
answers
no-
or full
There's no
sentences?
instruction manual, unfortunately. It's just kind of talking into the plane of death, I imagine. Maybe somewhere better if he was better person. I don't know how this works. I don't know if it will work, but it does. Maybe if we fill him in on some details and ask him which option, as the question, one of the questions, which option would you prefer?
I was thinking if we ask him how he died, that could easily be a one-word answer or a more detailed answer if he's able.
Like, how did you die? And he says, with my tongue hanging out of my mouth, or by sword, or maybe he'll give a dissertation, right?
Are
kinda
you
what
all
you mean.
talking to him from your horse, by the way, or are you gathering around like he asked?
I just
mean,
mount and start
I mean,
walking.
I'm over
with the
there.
cart.
Doesn't look like you are. There, Loxton, looks like you're on your horse.
Where up? Happy now, Game Master?
Yep.
I suggest we begin with a generic question to get a feel of how he answers, such as how did you die?
Yeah, make sure we got the right answer. Maybe we should, maybe we should ask him, how do you want to be buried, instead of, do you want to be buried with your head chopped off, heart taken out?
If you had the option of having your head cut off to support a demon closing the portal gate of hell to the undead, or if you could have your heart ripped out to have a floating, disembodied wizard potentially help the world, or if you could be buried in the dirt at the Rookwold Shrine, all intact because your friend wished it, which one would you choose?
I believe it is unethical to ask such questions of the dead. Those questions should be answered by the living.
Should a man not choose? Sorry, oh my lord. Should a person not be allowed to choose how they want to be buried?
Which that person ever buries himself.
The living person did express their desire to have him buried in whole at the shrine and said it would be an honor. His best friend.
But his best friend might not be one of these that can save the world. Now, granted, maybe staving off one chaos from another, but that seems to be how it happened 100 years ago, according to what we know of the Sigillus as well. Maybe it's a theme.
We know nothing about asking a dead person questions, so we should probably not make the questions too loaded.
Just ask him how does he want to be buried, like that, personally.
Wouldn't that waste a question, though?
I think it would. I think we should get as much information from him that we don't know that would help us in our further choices. And do with the body that we feel best.
Well, if this works, you all can ask the questions. I'll concentrate to keep the link. Out of character, is there anything that one can do from a ritualistic perspective to take a little longer in casting a spell like this to try to get a bonus for the casting?
That is a good question. I've not really dealt with this kind of spell before. Usually it's, deal 10 damage or attack X
firebolts,
creatures. Yeah. This is kind of an interesting spell. How long would you say you have been magically inclined? Give me a rough estimate, and we'll say years.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I would probably only lean to say a couple, like where he was taught some trick. It's like one of those, probably had the innate ability. That's probably why he's been able to get away with a lot of other stuff that he's decent at. You know what I mean? Like channeling whatever the thing is.
All right.
But
you said you were taught.
Not even tried casting a spell for a couple. It was like, oh, this is how you do the thing, and then, oh, this is how you read scrolls, and that was in my backstory. So it was about a couple years back when that actually happened.
Okay. Then we'll say no.
Okay. Are you all ready?
Ready as can be.
All right. If I fall down and start bleeding from the face, just try to comfort me, and hopefully I'll be okay. Magic is a finicky beast. 21. Yay! No bleeding from the face, I hope.
As Iso finishes his ritual, his incantations, he begins to bleed from the nose. Iso, as far as you're concerned, you guess it worked. Nothing. You don't know that your nose is bleeding, but everybody else can see it, except for Nyana. Nyana is normal.
I have a link. I have a link established.
Then it is
Ask your
time that we
questions.
ask our first question.
Kind of lean into the body a little bit, expecting that the answer would come from the body, despite the nature of the link, and ask, how was it you died?
The chest starts to lift and fall just so slightly, as if it starts to breathe again. The mouth opens, and a whispering, raspy voice comes from somewhere in the back of the mouth, and the mouth just stays open the entire time. It doesn't move. I was killed talking with the Red Knight. I don't know how. And then the mouth closes. And the chest stops moving.
I look back to the group.
Everybody could hear. Just FYI.
Actually, we now ask about that Dread Knight.
Yeah.
If somebody asked a question, I didn't understand it as a question, so.
Sorry, I was about to say something before, but there was some background noise. I was first saying that Drothier was turning back to the group and just saying, well, now we know about the types of answers we'll get. It's not just one-word answers. We can be more detailed in our questions.
I'm hesitant to say any questions, but I assume we all know what the follow-up question is.
The last one, yeah. I got a
nod
question too, but I don't want to answer it, you know.
I nod to Joe first that he can ask the question for us.
I look over to Nyana and Loxon and just say, should we ask what he was talking about with the Red Knight?
Yes, please. That's exactly what I want to do.
Nyana?
Or I whisper so that the corpse doesn't hear. Shouldn't we ask what a Dread Knight is?
And I'm just going to. I'm more concerned on why he was talking to him.
Perhaps we should ask both questions.
We do have two questions.
But if we do, we won't know how he wants to be buried.
Who
We
cares
can
how
make
he
that
wants to
decision
be buried?
ourselves.
Curious how he wants to
That
be
was
buried.
the point of this.
No, it wasn't.
Fine then. Fine then. The point was to find out how he died. Boom, done. And to see how he was buried.
Guys, it's kind of hard to hold this open. Please, try to get it together.
Ask the question, Jover. You know which ones.
I lean into the body again, and I ask the corpse, "What is it you were discussing with the Red Knight before you were killed?"
The chest begins to lift again. The mouth opens. And you hear the raspy voice again. He was telling me he wasn't the one that killed the animals. The mouth closes. The chest falls.
Well, that answers that.
Jothier leans back into the group to whisper, "I know that he was traveling with an invisible companion. It could very well have been that if it felt like the knight was in danger." But I don't think he would know if it was.
Well, if he didn't kill the animals, perhaps we should ask if he knows what he was there for. If not for killing the animals.
Well, I had run into that knight previously, and he told myself and Semper that he was there to try and prevent what was happening.
Perhaps we should ask if he knows why he was killed. Surely he did something to piss someone off.
So let me make sure I got the questions typed up right. It was how were you killed was the first one, basically. He says, I was talking to the Red Knight. I was killed, but I don't know how, was the first answer. The second one was, what is it that you were discussing with the Red Knight before you were killed? And the answer was, he was telling me that he was not the one who killed the animals.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one is, he doesn't know how, how he was killed. So it seems like it was maybe a surprise.
Perhaps we should ask. No, we wouldn't know the answer to that. Maybe we
Jothier
should
steps
ask
back.
if
Sorry, go ahead.
anything strange happened that day. Apart from him being killed.
Jothir nods and steps back so Nianna can approach the wagon if she'd like.
Alright. Well, I step forward.
Do you? There
Yes.
we go.
And I ask, did anything strange happen that day before you were killed?
You see the chest rise, the mouth open. You hear the raspy, whispering voice say, "No." And then the mouth closes, and the chest falls for the third time.
Ugh. Myself plops down on his butt. Take a deep breath.
Well, we know nothing special happened.
And we know that they were discussing the animals, which was what he was investigating when I was there. So he's simply doing his duty.
I suspect that he did not see who killed him. He might have been talking to the Red Knight, but I think it's something or someone else that did the killing. I suggest we find a place to bury him.
Jothir steps closer to the cart again and just starts looking over the body, even though it would be decrepit. I imagine that any large wounds would be visible if a massive bite was taken out of it, and that's what he's looking for.
Yes, it definitely looked like he was pretty badly mangled, mauled. Scratches, claws, bites, you name it. Definitely would look like an animal attack. And for you, look eerily familiar.
Why have you gone all pale, Jothir?
The first time I ran into the knight at the ruins, there was a dead cow carcass, and it had a massive bite in it, mangled like a very large animal. I see similar markings on this body, and the knight told me it was.
Okay, I'll let you finish that, but that's not. It would look similar to that, however, even more familiar.
Ripped open by some kind of beast, you say?
Just out of character, I think I know what you're getting at, but at right now, I think he would kind of throw him off a little bit.
Okay. I'm just making sure that you understand that you and I understand what I'm talking about. That's fine.
Yeah.
Say no more. Say no more. I was just going back to look at your. Anyway, go ahead. Okay, we're on the same page. Good. Okay. My apologies.
Yeah, when we were at the ruins, there was an invisible creature with him. And he said that that's what mangled the cow. I don't know that if it was that, but the markings are there.
An invisible monster that bites and can rip one asunder like that?
Well, he didn't call it a monster. He said that they were trying to help, but he was not in control of it.
Like another demon, like the last one we encountered. He looked kind of beast-like.
We never saw it. Only he could.
Sounds like it qualifies as demon to me, with that description.
Probably an important point of lore here. No. Demons. No one's probably in your lifetime ever talked about a demon in the present tense.
Oh, I'm sure there are stories and tales galore that a bard could think of, and
Nope,
that
not-
aren't necessarily
not-
true, right?
Well, they would be in a historical context. No one would presently refer to a demon existing today or even recently. In your lifetime, or presumably that would be your parents' and grandparents' lifetimes too. So, no one would ever speak about a demon like that. It would be something, a long time ago in a realm far, far away kind of thing. They're not a ever-present concern. Nobody would be concerned about demons.
Since Jothar's close, not that he would know this, but would it look like he's buried in the same clothes that he died in?
No. Looks like he was put in some nicer clothes.
Well, Nayana's going over to the east side of the shrine to find a nice spot to bury him.
Lotus is gonna get back on his horse to wait for Nyana.
Where did Nyana go? I lost Nyana. Oh, I see.
I went back to the path.
Anything else, Jothir?
Wait. Iso, are you going to, or are you staying here?
He'll go to help bury this body.
Well, the body's
He won't
attached.
he won't let Nyana go and do it, by herself. And he
Okay,
probably won't.
Jothir will kind of reach out and grab Iso's arm real quick before he heads over, and just whisper, remember when you recovered those coins from his desk?
Yes, I do. We each split one. It was kind of a joke, remember?
There wasn't any strangely marked coins in that package, were there?
What do you mean? I looked at them. I didn't remember seeing anything. Well, check yours. Look, he fishes around in his pocket for something. Check all his coins.
No foreign currencies.
I mean, it was all silver. Just 5 pieces, one for each. What do you think? One was arcanely marked in some way?
He looks around again, and then looks back at Iso and says, I didn't want to worry the rest of the group, but I may have seen these markings before.
Where?
Prior to my merchant travels, in fact, it's the reason why I joined the caravan. I had some associates at Rockwold, and they met a very untimely death. I don't know what killed them, but it looked very similar. I'm concerned that it might still be hunting me.
So because they're right behind me, can I hear them?
Are you making an attempt to conceal it, Jothier, your voice, so that Loxon cannot hear?
Yeah, no, I said I was whispering.
Then, yeah, you cannot hear right now.
Joltia, maybe you should check your pocket for that coin I gave you. See if you still have it. Here's the one I have from me. And then I sort of look at it, let Joe look at it. Does it look like it has any funky marks on it?
Nope. Looks like money.
This one looks like money to me. He'll put it back, but now we know which ones we're looking for.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that Jothier doesn't, because I think I kind of said at the beginning that he would always be checking his coins.
Nope. Well, okay, but no, you do not remember anything. You have the one coin that stands out. Other than that, everything else just looks the same. Nothing special.
So I do have the one coin that I bought from the vendor. So Jothier would pull that out and kind of show it to Iso and say, it might look like this, minus the X scratching it out. And it would have the reptilian head on it.
What kind is this? What does this mean? Out of character, I know, but this gives you the chance if you want to explain it.
Yeah, he wasn't with you when it got explained. It was just Sigbrand,
Yeah,
I think.
Conqueror, yeah.
Sigbrand.
Yep.
Sigfriend. Prior to our travels, I had never seen this myself. Belongs to those Drakir, the Scaletails. And apparently they regard it as a cursed item when it has the X over it. They said it's the revenge taken should anyone ever steal one. But I can't imagine this city guard being a thief.
Do these... What did you call them again? The lizard people? What did you call them?
They were called the Drakor, but when we were in the Bone Guard Waste, the merchant there originally referred to them as Scaletails. Seems to be a slang name for them. In fact, there was one across the way when we were purchasing scrolls from her. Large lizard-like person.
I'll have to ask you more about this later. Sounds like a good story. Did you hear about any of them having the ability to conceal themselves? As if to appear not there?
Nobody said anything to me about them being able to be invisible or exceptionally stealthy. The only thing they've said is that when all these dark days started, as a whole, they've disappeared. I think that we have things that we should consider. For now, let's go help Nyana. Let's get
I
this
agree.
body in the ground.
I'll
I-
I'll see if I can once again lift Loxanne's purse just to double check. He's had enough marks on him lately. I'll check Sempa's, and then maybe you can speak to Diana and ask if you can see her coins. Wouldn't recommend stealing from that one.
No, I will ask her directly.
Back to your horse, Jothier.
Did Nyana go on horseback?
Yep, Nyana's
Then yes.
tried.
Yes, and he would ride in her direction.
I'll go slightly forward again. I assume I'm ahead.
Yes. That might have been me messing with you. Sorry. I saw.
I said I'll stay here until they come
Oh
back.
no!
You're gonna stay there.
Yeah, until they come back.
What would they come back
So,
for?
well, someone's trying to guard the body.
We're taking
Well,
the
he's
body to bury
It's
it.
getting buried.
Yeah, but I thought we. Okay, well, show it.
Are you keeping watch while we do it? Make sure that nobody sneaks up on us, since you have the vantage point on this hill.
Okay. Hold
I'll
up one
leave
sec
my
there.
horse.
Nyana, one sec. Right there. Go ahead and finish what you were saying, Jothier. Just hang back there for a minute so I can deal with Nyana up here while you guys are back there. Finish what you were saying?
Oh, I was just asking if Loxan was staying up on the hill to stand guard as a vantage point, because I felt like he didn't understand at first that we weren't coming back.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought you. I thought you were coming back.
Yeah, with your bow and arrow and stuff.
Crossbow, but okay.
Oh yeah, cross.
Still a bow.
Especially with this fog, that might not be a bad idea, if he can see far enough.
At least into the lit areas.
Okay, Nyana, as you approach, you see it actually looks somewhat busy. Several people around several of the statues. Looks kind of busy. Nothing. Wait. Who's the one person that failed their observation?
I
No.
Oh, that was you? Okay. Then that's what you see. Just people all about. As you dismount your horse. Did you want to do something in particular, or are you waiting for the other people?
Yeah, I was just leaving my horse here to be respectful. Then I was just walking towards the east side
Okay.
and find a nice place to bury the body.
Okay.
So I suppose I'm just walking through, nodding at people.
Yep.
Not noticing anything particular.
No, some are talking, some are praying, some are crying, some are,
Alright, well, this is supposed to be east. Looking for a patch that is a bit flat, like here.
right there.
That's, yep, it's probably a good place to bury.
All right. All right, everybody. You see Nyana walking through rather hurriedly. Or are you coming back, Nyana, or are you what are you doing?
I'm waiting here. They
Okay.
can see my torch.
Okay. All right. Jothier, Iso, and Loxan, what are you guys doing?
I just went up to the place.
Okay.
I think Loxan looks like he's riding on top of the cart that I'm dragging, so he's going with me.
No,
Is
I'm
that
not
what
here.
it's like?
You're
From
on
where
your
we
just
are
a-
now,
It's just a
Sync.
desync. Yeah.
I saw
from
the
where we
cart
are
move,
now,
but
we can see
Yeah.
these people, right?
Yes. Yes.
we
All,
did
all
not
of you. Yeah. All of you see the people here. They're all just doing various different things.
So since Diana fell, do we see anything different?
No, not right now. Everything just looks Again, if you've come here before, it looks just like last time. People doing their thing. If you've never been here, it's probably exactly what you expected it would be. And Loxin, though, everybody sees Nyana's torch moving into the darkness and then stopping somewhere. I mean, you can kind of see the tip of it.
But the thing is, I actually don't see it.
Well, your character does, luckily. Thank goodness you rolled well. Okay, what's your plan, Loxin?
Oh, I see. She's way out there. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see now.
Yeah,
There's a hill in the way. That's why we can't see it.
Yeah,
Constance
it's
from our
past-
vantage point.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's.
see it.
I think you
It's
can see
blocked,
the
yeah.
light right here. You can start
No,
seeing
not
it.
even. I'd have to
Oh.
float all the way up off my person. That's what I just did. It's like, where the hell is she?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I
that
saw
is-
the light
that is
way
the
out there.
light. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. All right. Yeah, she's right about here.
Well, I got off the horse. I thought she was one of these people in the middle. So let me get back on.
Loxin, what's your plan with the corpse here?
Uh,
Loxin?
yeah, I'm just gonna ride it to Nana.
ISO, come back.
Oh, I thought we were going to Nyana.
No,
Well, I
you
was-
can, but I'm waiting to see what Loxin's doing first.
I was about to say the same thing. I'm going to ride the horse and car towards Nana.
Okay. As you start to ride in, you hear an angry voice yell at you, "What are you doing? No horses in here. Show some respect." ISO? When you hear this person yelling at Loxin, you've heard this voice before.
Oh no.
Yeah, you've definitely heard the voice before. Loxin, what are you doing?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. And I pull back.
He waves you back with his torch. And
Like, Iso's face turns red because he immediately woes the horse and balks like he's listening. Like it's just automatic, right? But then he starts to grit his teeth and looks like mad that this is what happened. And then Constant, when you're ready, what he's going to do is kick his horse so that not only is he riding through here, but he's going to tear up ground with his wagon. He's going to go straight across this place. Almost defiantly.
Okay. And as you're doing that, you see Loxin backing up, and you see the man is a doctor you know. A very familiar
Oh,
doctor
never mind. That
you
was
know.
the voice I thought we were going with. Oh, that's different.
And he looks right at you as you're prepping your horse to do whatever it is you're going to do. So you're riding straight across?
No, I'm checking my own backstory real quick. I just didn't think that this is where we're going, so I need to catch up.
Okay, Loxin, so what are you doing now?
Just gonna walk towards where I see Leono's light.
Okay. Leaving
Well,
the...
not in actual, but well, nodding at everyone.
Okay, leaving the body in the cart, or what are you doing?
Oh crap! Yeah. I'm gonna. Okay. Right. I'm gonna grab the body and then walk towards nearest light.
Okay, leaving it wrapped up in the cover.
Yeah.
Okay, Jothier.
We only have the one cart now, right?
The other one is with Semper and ISO. So yeah, what are you doing? You see Loxon getting the body, throwing it over his shoulder, and getting ready to walk through the shrine.
I trot my horse over to where the other one is and dismount, and then walk back over to the cart.
Okay.
Oh. Dr. Frond.
You saying this out loud, or you just
Yes.
saying this to yourself?
I'm making up a name because I didn't put a name in.
Okay. He's looking, praying, and he just looks at you and just looks floored, stunned. He's just staring at you. Clearly not expecting.
Praying for all those sins, I see. It's about time.
He looks a little embarrassed at the moment, and then sort of straightens his face up a little bit. He starts to say something and then looks around. Beckons you over. You can keep walking if you want. Loxon, you can walk over towards Nyan and wait there. Jothier, just tell me what you want to do.
Jothir's gonna stay with the group.
Well, the group is splitting up, so you get to pick.
Actually, no. I'll stay with ISO.
Okay.
Looks like your Jedi mind trick levitating that dead body when you move. It's pretty fun.
Well, actually, where's Niana? Because Jothir's gonna.
Across the way. You gonna walk
In that
towards
case, then
Nyan?
you can take the body.
Right here.
Jothier, is that what you're doing?
Oh wait, were these people already in this position, or are they like
Yep.
line? I couldn't tell if they. Okay,
They
so
are
they're not
here
lining.
worshiping, praying, whatever it is they're doing.
Okay, yeah. Well, Jothir had it in his mind to have that conversation with Niana, so he's gonna just go over to help her.
Okay.
I thought you were
Jothier,
gonna take the body.
you didn't. I don't know. You didn't say anything. You didn't say anything, so I didn't know it. Jothier, as you walk by, you notice this on your way to Nyana. And there you go. Just you notice that as you're passing by. All right, ISO, the woman you're next to turns to you, looks at you angrily, starts flailing her torch at you. No beasts allowed inside the shrine. What are you doing?
Oh, that's a woman? I thought that was the doctor. Where's the doctor? So I stopped doing that.
He's right next to her, right here.
It's okay. Ma'am, I'm on special orders.
You hear another voice shout across from the shrine. Get off the horse! Get the horse out of here!
Okay, well then, hey, Dr. Frond, I'll be right back. I have to move the horse.
You hear people just go absolutely nuts and start yelling at you and screaming. All right, Loxon, you're now by yourself. What are you doing?
I guess I'm just gonna look around first. Till Iso comes back.
Okay, so you're staying there?
The guy, is he the one carrying the body?
Yes.
I am.
Ultra?
I
I mean,
shouted for him.
Nyana? You do what?
I stand by my word. I'm gonna just look around until
Okay.
Iso comes back.
All right.
See anything suspicious or not?
Not particularly. You see several of the people starting to form up and talk, point towards ISO, and just commence to grumbling, being very angry. And then they start to walk off after him in his direction.
Hey, you two. You probably heard the commotion. People are not happy about us bringing wagons through. But,
You mean you bringing weapons through?
Well, look around here. There's no way to come over here.
Hey,
unless
what are you
go-
doing over here?
We're having a conversation. Mind your own business.
I was, until someone rode a horse through my business.
That's not your business. It's an open shrine.
This is a sacred
I-
place.
I apologize for Iso's ignorance. I assure you, you do not seem to be aware of the shrine's customs. Anyways, he did not mean to insult. We will plant 1,000 seeds for each patch of grass overturned.
You ruined my prayer. You can't plant any
Guess what?
seeds.
Guess you weren't praying hard enough then.
You ruined my
I
prayer
urge
too. You hear
Just
one of the
keep
women
quiet.
step forward and point directly at ISO.
As you might by now know, Iso is a bit dense, so I urge you to be patient.
Yes, that's me. I'm dense, and I'm busy. I got to get back to where I was at before you all interrupted me. So, see you.
A couple of them sort of turn around to follow ISO. Wait, where did you go, ISO?
Is this the doc?
Do what? Oh, you're by the doctor? He's the one that's right.
I don't know. Is this
Here.
the doctor?
This is the doctor right here.
Okay.
By Loxon. Alright. You're gonna have a fan club. Meanwhile, the other half. What are you doing here? The man asks, and the woman sort of steps up next to him to confront you as well. Yeah, what are all these horses here for? What are you doing over here?
I've designated this ground a good spot for a burial.
You don't have permission from the Conclave to bury anyone here.
Actually, the conclave is no more. And we have direct orders from Lord Canis. As I hand my paperwork.
They look at each other. The woman steps forward. Motions with her head for you to show it to her.
I show it.
She lifts the torch up enough just to read it. Looks back at her friend. That still doesn't mean you can bring horses through the shrine.
As you may be aware, I did not bring my horses. And I am aware that it is not allowed. Unfortunately, Isa seems to be poorly informed. I'll make sure he goes around next time.
You said his name's ISO?
This.
What's the rest of his name?
I believe it is Iso Metrakol. I believe that's his full name.
The man speaks up. Is this some kind of joke? Do you think we're stupid?
No, I do truly believe that is his actual name. He's the son of Bertrand Cole. A bit more of a normal name, I'd say.
If he was my son, I'd have taught him a lot more respect.
Same here, same here.
We'll be letting Lord Gannison know about this. Keep your friend's horses out. This is a sacred place where people come when they're desperate.
Sorry, but we have orders to, well, make sure people don't bother him. You see, he's been very busy lately, and a lot of people make a lot of requests. I don't think he would be interested in some minor complaints.
I don't think he'll find this a minor complaint.
Uthir
But
walks
we'll
up to
see.
him.
Why do you not speak to Iso? Perhaps he's able to apologize.
I'm sure they'll follow him, the man says, pointing behind him with his thumb.
Perhaps he
He asked
can
us about
pray
our
for you.
prayers. Sorry, go ahead.
Perhaps he can pray for you in return.
Something tells me he doesn't do much praying. He just rides through Brookwald's shrine like that.
We can pray for you. You said that you were desperate. What are you here praying for?
My family was killed in the attack on Ruckwald. I haven't heard from any of them. All the reports say that everyone was killed. The woman looks at the man and then to Jothier. It's none of your business what I'm here for.
We were away from Ruckwald when this attack happened. We had only heard of it. We were traveling for Lord Gannison. He knows us quite well. Can you tell us more about this attack? What exactly happened?
The woman just looks back at the man. He shrugs. Nobody knows. The undead attacked. And that's all I know. There's not much information getting out. There's another woman in there. Says there was another place attacked.
They
What place
just
was
keep
that?
on coming.
What did you say, Jothier?
I just asked, what place was that?
She said she's from Ailton.
I've heard it. What happened was terrible there. Though I can't say I've heard any details.
I didn't ask her. Felt bad for her. Just let her be.
Jothier holds his torch up a little higher, trying to see further through the fog, and asks the woman, could you point out which woman you're talking about, that we might pray for her too?
She folds her. Well, she can't fold her arm. She's got a torch. She puts her hand on her hip and just nods her head over her. You won't miss her. She's bawling her eyes out at the one of the middle statues. Besides, I have better things to do. She just turns and walks off. The man just sort of nods at you and does the same. Anything as they walk off, or you're just letting them leave?
I'm letting them leave.
Name.
Okay. As you head this way, ISO, you have a pair of fans trailing behind you. What is this? There we go. They
Do I see
angrily.
this?
Oh yeah, you see them walking, making a beeline straight for ISO.
Looks like you got some fans, I say.
Hey, you! What are you doing here?
I came to speak with this man here at the shrine.
And you couldn't leave your horses outside the shrine like everyone else?
Well, no, I needed to get the horse and the wagon across the shrine to where I was just at. You saw me drop it off, so you know why I went there. There's no other way there.
You could ride around the shrine.
No, the horse could throw its legs out. Look at the terrain. It's terrible. Do you know nothing of horsemanship?
Do you know nothing of this shrine? The most sacred place in all of Ruckwald. You
I
drive
don't
your
remember
beast of
hearing
burden
about-
right through it.
Well, how do you think they got these statues here? Do you think people carried them on their backs? No, they were used with a horse and wagon to set it up. It's not like it's unfounded.
The woman scoffs. Everyone knows the dark gods brought them here. They descended from the sky, you fool.
Right. How clueless of me.
Clueless is right. You should leave. You're disturbing everyone's prayers here.
Okay, I mean, you could ignore me and get back to what you're doing and save your time. I mean, if I'm a turd, you're effectively sticking your nose in it, if you know what I mean.
If you're a turd, someone has to clean it up. We don't just leave it sitting in the middle of the shrine to stink for everyone else.
Well, how are you going to grow these pretty flowers that are around here? Certainly they didn't just spawn there themselves. They were planted by dark gods. You have to fertilize them with shit. Shit can make something beautiful, see?
The woman speaks up. We can also fertilize them with blood. That's what makes the flowers grow.
Oh, I'm sorry, miss. What? Are you threatening me?
The man with her gives her a weird look. No,
What would your
but
dark
not
gods think of you? then?
everyone fertilizes with turds, as you say.
Okay. That's fair point. Fair point. If you don't mind, though, yes. If you find Gent wouldn't mind coming with me over here, we can maybe have a private conversation, and I can respect these other two people's wishes and leave them at peace so they may pray.
The man pipes up. Yeah, take him out of here. Is this man a friend of yours? He points towards Iso and looks at the man underneath the statue there. He looks a little concerned, looks to Iso and...
No, I'm a patient of his. You've seen how addled I am. I need a doctor. This man's a doctor. It's a physician. Quite remarkable one.
The man's eyes immediately go wide and make a motion for you to stop talking. He puts his finger over his mouth and just makes a slight wave with his torch hand. He's begging you with his face to stop.
Okay, I'll cut off.
Just take him out of here, the woman says. I'm not done praying, and I can't stand the sight of him already. So he gently takes you by the arm and sort of turns you around to kind of walk out of the area with him over here.
Lawson is curious on who this person is. Lawson's gonna try to follow him. Without being seen.
Without being seen? Alright, make you a sneak. We'll do agility.
I already rolled my see some stuff check above. What is it, like 18 or whatever the heck it was?
Yeah.
14.
Somewhere out.
No, it was 18.
No, I got 14.
Oh. Yeah, you're making an opposed roll now, so yeah, go ahead and roll.
Oh, that's what I was saying. My presence for seeing stuff was an 18. Do you want me just to roll it again since this is different?
Yeah.
And not just static or whatever?
Yeah, this is an opposed roll.
Okay, got it. Yeah, let me get my sheet up. Nope. Standard ISO there.
Okay,
Focused on something.
Find somewhere to successfully hide, Loxon, because you managed to successfully hide. So how are you managing to hide from Loxon in this conversation? Also, you're quite the little imp.
You're telling me?
Yes.
I can tell you what? What? Hell no, hold on. Oh, goddamn, I am. I mean, I was just gonna hide, like in front of one of the statues.
Okay. Well, get there. All right. Loxon, the doctor gets you a short distance away, and then...
So I'm curious, do any of these people react to the fact that he's still dragging a body every time he walks?
It's covered, and they should know that now that he's the one that's getting buried. So
yeah,
I doubt it.
they were actually quite distracted.
Okay, great, it worked.
So we'll go with no.
Wait, hold on. You did this just to
Super.
distract them?
Yeah, I was trying to get you to get the hell out of here, but you can't follow hints.
No, I thought you were being ISO.
It all comes together. It's all a win-win as far as he's concerned with his personality.
It doesn't matter anyway. They should know that we're here for to bury him. It doesn't matter now.
See, look. Anyway,
All right, so the doctor begins talking with you, and he's got a very carefully quiet tone that is very obviously trying to not let anybody hear what he's telling you. I have not forgotten our arrangement. And he's got his right hand nervously fidgeting with his shirt, his pants, his pocket, scratching on the cart. I mean, he appears very nervous and quiet. But we have a small problem. Actually, it's quite a large problem.
Well, here I was thinking that we could reacquaint, and I can maybe ask about what's going on back home.
Well, back home is complicated. Lord Gannison was sort of able to see through some of my arrangements with other people, such as yourself. And he now has all of my patient records. All of them.
Well, why would Lord Gannison take any mind to that rinky-dink mining town and you? A random person in it.
Okay, I hear this, and I'm gonna interrupt it right now. Yes, exactly. Why would he want to know about you?
Loxton, what are you doing?
He looks very uncomfortably between ISO and Loxton, and then just looks at ISO as if waiting for permission to continue, or for ISO to handle the situation.
Well, Loxton, why are you still here? You're supposed to take that sack across the shrine to Diana.
I was waiting for you. Didn't I hear you talking to him?
I was setting it up for you, so they didn't have to bother you.
Well, next time, tell me about it first.
Yes, I will spell it out. That people seeing bodies might draw a little attention, so next time I'll tell you when I make a distraction.
Yeah. So I was waiting for you, but I hear you two talking, and then all of a sudden I hear that Gannison was this man that you apparently know.
Did you hear that? Man, you don't know how to whisper, Doctor. Is that how Lord Gannison found out?
Please,
Just run your
friend,
mouth?
keep your voice down. The man looks at Loxton, motioning with his hand for Loxton to be much quieter.
Give me one good reason.
He just looks
Look,
at ISO.
Loxton, I know this man. He's from my village. Just want to find out what's going on. And there's certainly some surprising things going on. Look, if you want to be part of this, I can wait for you if you're entertained by this kind of conversation, but I only ask that you take this sack to Diana first, and then come back.
Fine. I'll drop the man off, and then and then when I come back here, and I stare right at the man's face, I want a nice long chat. You hear me? As I tell the doctor menacingly.
Why do you want to chat with the doctor? Because you heard a name, you know?
Please stop saying doctor. He again continues to motion to keep your voices down.
With Frond. Mr. Frond here.
Fine, Font. I want to know what you know about Garrison by the time I come back. If you're not here, I will find you. I'm very good at finding things. And I'm still staring at him menacingly as I walk back. Anyway.
That man actually needs a doctor, he says as he gets out of earshot range very quietly.
I would agree. As you can see, I've kind of fallen in with kind of a rough crowd. He means well, he really does. He was a little nervous at the mention of the Lord.
Well, doctors are in quite short numbers now. Needed a doctor, and he found leverage to acquire my services at a rate he could afford. So he has everything I kept records of, and I kept records of everything, he says, sort of uncomfortably, and, makes a motion with his eyes, bobbing his head from side to side.
Certainly myself, but
and of the untimely demise of someone quite close to you. I kept records of that. Records that Lord Gannison now has.
Right, if he has a means to dig through them, maybe that would not be so good.
He nods his head emphatically. You
didn't by any chance also write about your nightly escapades?
He sort of blushes, looks away from you.
I mean, since you're so thorough with the documentation, that would be some leverage.
How he obtained the initial leverage on me.
Well, I guess I can relate. Well, look, it's all water under the bridge for me, Doctor. Mr. Frond.
Well, they believe he may have auctioned them off. He sent them to the place called Anjet to be auctioned off, along with some other items he acquired from our village, former village, my former village. I will not be going back, in case you should find him and he should ask. I promise to never go back.
Oh, just tell me when I can go back, by the way.
But what did he need a doctor for?
His men were wounded. He had a wound. I mended them all. It was nothing unusual.
How was Lord Gannison wounded? Where?
It was a Minor wound. A scratch, really. He's quite the swordsman, I understand. They had just got back to the camp in the north, Camp Severall, and I was brought there.
Why would Lord Gannison auction off your documents? And what of the village artifacts and items?
Well, selling them
Was the
for
village...
money, I suppose. He was short on funds, hence why he couldn't enlist my services initially.
Huh.
He refused to pay. I refused to work. And then he brought his leverage and brought me to his men. And then he took everything I own and is now selling it to fuel his plans, I suppose.
What of Goslar, the town? You said it was a ruin now?
No, I just won't be going back. I have quite literally nothing left to go back to. He took my home, all of my belongings, and sent me away and told me if I ever returned, unless it was to work for him personally, he would execute me. He nervously grasps at his neck.
Well, anything you can tell me about the House of Shattenfang and or my father, the Senestal?
No, your father was a little hesitant to deal with him. What little I saw of your father, he was busy avoiding getting involved with Lord Gannison. Your friend had an interesting plight. However, your childhood friend. What was his name? The one you would always swordplay with, and then I would patch you and he up, and we would go back to more swordplay.
Friend? Do you mean Gerhard?
Yes, yes. Well,
The
you were his.
Shattenfang's son?
Yeah, you were his whipping boy, his friend. It was the same thing to them. He came down with a mysterious illness. I was treating before I was otherwise repurposed.
Oh, wow. Last I knew, as you know, is he was getting arranged for marriage. I figured he'd be running things, not dead. I mean,
Seems his bride slipped out one night and was never found again. Runaway bride.
nobles never cease to amaze me. He wasn't a bad soul, just kind of raised awkwardly, you know, as I was in a different way. I guess we might as well have been friends later. Well, Doctor, is there anything I can do to help your plight?
Never mention my name, or that I am, or have any experience being a doctor, he says quietly, once again sort of
Yeah.
encouraging you to never mention the word again.
It's strategic.
Gotcha.
Understood. That's something I can do. We both have our secrets. Oh, look, Loxon is back. Mr. Franz, this is one of my traveling companions, Loxon. Loxon, I don't think has another name, just Loxon.
Just lost it.
He nods his head. I must be going. There's quite a bit of attention. He looks at Iso with those eyes. That's been drawn here, and I have a feeling it will find its way back to Lord Gannison. You should be careful. Mr. He sort of looks at you blankly.
Loxon.
I'm sorry, he looks at Iso blankly. Mr. I'm sorry, you didn't say what your name was?
Oh, just Iso.
Iso? Yes, Iso, of course. Because we're friends, right? Right. Then he looks at Loxon and smiles. So if you'll excuse me, I'll be leaving. And probably never coming back.
I guess I'll have that nice long chat with Iso instead.
Great idea.
That's fine, Loxon, that's fine.
Great idea. He starts to head on down the road. And disappears eventually.
Well, that was fun. Are you hungry, Loxon? I'm hungry. You want to have a seat? Have a sandwich?
Before he even finishes the sentence, I grab him by his shirt and I push him up against the top.
No, can't do that. You can
what? Come on.
attempt to grab him by his shirt because you can't.
Right,
That's
right.
metagaming.
He can.
I will
He can do it.
attempt.
He can do
Okay.
it. I'm not going to resist.
Okay. And then continue. You just have to ask. You can't. You can control your character. You just can't control someone else's character's actions.
I'm controlling what I'm doing though.
Oh, all
Okay.
right, Loxon. All right. I'll hold a mayo.
Okay, that's funny. Alright. Explain.
All right. Come on. I only have 2 more articles of clothing other than this.
What do you want with that man? And why did he mention Lord Gannon's Lord Gannon? And why did he mention Lord Gannison?
From behind you, you hear a shh. Woman behind you. Some of us are praying. Keep your voices down.
Loxon, you should really listen. They will harangue you continuously if you don't, and they will threaten to sow their fields with your blood.
I'll say it again, this time quietly. What did he have to say? Sorry, no, what is his relationship with Lord Gannison? Quietly.
Right. Okay, so if you'll unhand me, I'll kindly tell you.
And I want the truth. That's how let me go.
I'm too tired to lie. Okay, look. That man, This is from my village. It seems that Lord Gannison sought out his services, which, as you heard earlier, was as a former physician. Apparently, Lord Gannison needed a doctor for himself and some of the other forces under his control. They came back to Fort Severall injured. They had a battle. Anyway, the good doctor here decided he was not going to help Lord Gannison because Lord Gannison could not afford his services. So Lord Gannison did the thing that Lord Gannison does and found some leverage and probably a right rasher of intimidation and had him drug into Fort Severall and threatened to either expose him with said leverage or have him decapitated if he wouldn't help him anyway. And, well, the end result was that he treated his men and treated Lord Gannison for a minor wound. He said it was a scratch. Then Lord Gannison took all of his belongings, everything that this man had, and auctioned it off in Edgett for funds. The end. The sad story.
And how do you know him?
He was in my village.
No offense, I said, but you don't get into a lot of fights. So I'll say again, how do you know him?
Well, he's a doctor, right? Everyone can see the doctor if you happen to have the funds. So I have bad dreams, mostly. The doctor tried to assess my dreams, tried to help me with them, to help cure me of them. It was a long time ago.
You do have bad nightmares.
They seem to happen when I'm too close to someone else having a bad nightmare. I blame it on this magic I can do now. It's probably related.
So why would Gannison take a pretty normal doctor and do that stuff to him? I'm waiting.
Well, apparently doctors are in very short order these days, as you can imagine, with zombies walking around, ripping people apart everywhere. And, you know, he needed someone who could treat his men. So, you know, honestly, Goslar isn't too far away from Fort Severall, so that's another thing, he's close. Maybe he had heard of him previous. The doctor used to tout his, abilities. Now he's trying to do the opposite, as you hear. But anyway, that's all he would tell me.
Fine. But from now on, anyone you know, you tell me first. Don't lie. Never lie. You know I hate lies. Is that understood?
Well, yes. I don't know anyone that likes lies, but I understand. Look, there's something I need to tell you about too.
What?
you might have a cursed coin in your bag.
First coin.
And look, it wasn't me anything playing a trick. Listen, when we found the Watchman and looked around his house, you might remember that I found some coin. There's a small chance that particular coin that we split amongst ourselves, which was one each,
Yeah, I remember that.
is cursed. The good news is, I now know how to tell. So, I was going to just lift your bag and look for it myself to make sure it wasn't there.
Again.
But listen. But I understand now that we've had this conversation. You would appreciate a more direct approach. So I'm giving you the respect and opportunity you deserve to tell you this, so that we can take a look at your coins together.
So why didn't you look at it before when you did it the first time?
Well, I didn't know at the time. I just recently have worked this out.
Good point. Fine, let's check.
Okay, so we'll do that in the background while you guys do some other stuff in the other character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, you don't find anything weird.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, Nyana, Jothier.
Sometimes I wonder if you're the only normal companion.
I look over the hill at the people who walked away, and I just say, wow, I know that they've suffered a lot and lost a lot, but they are insane. They're just looking for people to blame.
Well, if there's people to blame, then Aisto and Loxan would probably be a good place to begin. He was certainly being quite rude. I mean, he claims to be from Wookwald. He should know the rules. Anyways, we better start digging. Because I don't think the children will be returning very soon.
Oh, God. You're going to commence to
out of-
digging?
Yes,
I was gonna ask out of
assume,
character.
Yeah.
I assume they brought shovels.
Yeah, they're all in the cart behind you. Yeah, your only cart now.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
I'll quickly grab.
Okay.
I'm dousing my torch so that I can use both hands.
I'm putting my torch in the ground and I'll keep the light on.
Okay. I'll get you a torch on the ground. You can just kick your torch out. I'll get you one on the ground. Anything that you want to talk about, or you just want those guys to come back over here?
I think we have some stuff to discuss.
All right. Carry on. Whoops.
Well, as I begin digging, I
Jothier
look
picks
up at Joffer.
Jothier picks up a shovel and makes the initial thrust into the ground, pulls out some dirt, turns it over on to the ground next to it. Then he looks over at Nyana and says, You know, you've trusted me with a secret of yours, and I feel I can trust you with a secret of mine. Those markings on the corpse, I have seen them before, but they're not exactly the same as that invisible creature that was traveling with the knight I met made on the cattle. I had some associates in Ruckwold before I joined up with a trading caravan, and they were murdered in a forest. They had very similar markings. And I'm not sure, but I believe it's because they came into possession of a foreign coin. I had not seen it before, but it had a reptilian face on it and 3 scratches through it. And that's why I bought the coin I did when we were in Bone Drift. Because it was
Also,
the same coin.
important note here. Those statues you passed look just like the one on the coin. They look very, very, very similar.
Do you want me to tell you what I was think?
I'm just letting you know in case you want to, how much you want to share or hide or twist. Just letting you know that when I was telling you the statues you walked past look just like the one. Now, Nyana didn't see Jack when she walked over here, so you might have to explain like she's 5, but I'm just
Okay,
letting
so
you
it's not a
know
category.
for your knowledge that the reptilian on the coin looks just like those 2 out there.
Okay. Just out of character, when I walked by those statues and you saw that I was recognizing them or seeing them, my assumption was, because earlier you said that this was a pantheon of sorts, that they were statues of gods.
What's your question? What is it?
I'm just saying that that's the assumption that I made. So
Okay. That's fine. I'm just letting you know that the coins and the statues were related.
Would he be under that impression?
Yeah, that's a reasonable assumption to make.
So I assume these coins are perhaps the cause of death in a way.
When we were in the Bone Waste, there was a lizard-like creature. The merchant called them scale tails, but the creature itself, after you left, I went and addressed and talked to, and he referred to himself as Drakori. He said that the merchant who had one of those coins, which you saw me buy, he said that it was a cursed coin because of the 3 scratches on it.
So this coin that you now possess is trouble, or isn't it?
Thea would hold the shovel in just one hand right now and start reaching into his pouch and pull out the coin that he had gotten from the merchant and show it to Nyana and say, well, the Scaletail Drakori creature did say that it's the curse was expended. That's why the scratches were on it. But he still pulled away from the coin when I held it out to him.
Well, since you are still alive, I take it that this coin is safe.
Well, I didn't steal this coin. I purchased it.
I suppose you're right.
But the city guard, I don't know how he would have received those kinds of wounds. He certainly didn't strike me as a thief. He seemed very engaged in his duties.
Well, I guess we just don't know everyone as good as we might think.
When ISO and I checked his home, we did find a few coins, which, you know, we've all received one from ISO. I'm just curious if any of the coins you're carrying had such a similar mark as this. And he would brandish his coin again to Nyana.
Well, I've not noticed any particular markings. And I have quite a lot of coins to go through.
Humble brag.
But perhaps there's something to easily recognize them by? Do they have a distinct color? Or size, perhaps? Comparison to regular coins?
Just out of character, Truthir is holding the coin up there, so she'd be able to see that. Constant, you
Right.
never gave me any measurement on the coin, so
It's
Am I
just
able
an
to see
average.
that?
Yes, yes. He's holding it up to you in the torchlight. You're able to see it. Good enough. It's a pretty distinctive coin. It's just a silver coin with a lizard-like reptilian head, and it's got some scratches on it.
Right,
Like
well,
like something was gouged into it, not like it's got, you know, scratches from being slid across a table. It's got actual gouge type scratches in it across the reptilian head figure.
Alright, well, I'm taking out my money pouches and start digging through them.
No coins, anything like this one.
It seems I do not possess any coins that look similar to yours.
well, that's a good thing. But I am concerned that it was a similar creature or similar person that harmed my friends and killed my friends that may have gone after this guard. I will say that the coin that they had already had scratches, so according to the Jakori I met, the curse should have already been broken by the time they received it.
Well, I would imagine that if perhaps the creature that killed them would make the scratches to mark the coin as being, well, not cursed anymore. But that is an assumption. Perhaps we ought to visit these Torkori sometime. Perhaps returning the coin would mean something to them.
When we were in the Bone Wastes, the merchant did say that the Jakori were not as prevalent on the streets anymore, and the Jakori I spoke to seemed to be the last there. It seems that a lot of them have simply disappeared, gone into hiding ever since the Dark Days began. And then Jothir would point over to the statues he had passed by, said, I did notice, though, that those statues look very similar to the visage on the coins. Maybe there's answers here.
I didn't really get a good look at the statues, but I assume they're just deities that represent the Drukori belief or somewhat.
And perhaps there's believers here who could give us answers.
Perhaps, but before we go look at that, can I ask you something personal, since you seem to trust me with your questions?
Of course, and just so you're aware, I did share this also with ISO, since he initially took the coins. I did not say anything to Lekton. I don't know how well I can trust him yet.
Me neither. He's unpredictable. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you about Doomguard. As you know by now, I do have the ability to use magic. Particularly the ability to raise the dead. And I just don't know if I should be honest with them. Perhaps my question will carry more weight if I show you something. As I raise up my shirt to show my side.
Luther watches intently, not sure what's about to happen.
How far is this going?
I'm not raising my shirt that far. Just enough to expose the wound on my side. This wound was caused by that knife you might have seen in the Doomguard heap.
The one on the wall?
Yes. The black one.
Was that dagger something symbolic or connected to a particular group?
I don't know. All I know is that she said it was used to kill magic users. And it would make sense that the one that possessed the knife would be the one that tried to kill me.
I'll say that in my experience, I find that it's best not to fully trust anyone outside your own group. I feel that Lord Gannison, Exida, even Doomguard, they use us for what they want, and we're not helpful. We don't get the same aid in return.
I agree. But then Swaru Milton did insist that we'd be honest. And it's that same honesty that I'm dreading. So, do you think I should be honest with them? Or keep my cards close to my chest?
I think that if you do choose to be honest with them, we should make sure that we have a way out if things get bad.
I agree.
One good thing about sharing it with them is if they do react negatively, then we'll know their true colors.
That is also true. Though we already know that they dislike magic.
The demon did give ISO some questions to ask them. Perhaps we shouldn't share everything until after they've answered some of those questions.
Yes, it is best to keep our secrets as long as we possibly can. I suggest we should probably put his body in the grave.
Jothier nods and picks up the shovel again with both hands and starts digging in the ground.
I continue digging as well.
Alright. I think Loxon and ISO can show up about now. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about privately.
Nope, I'm good. I'm gonna run across.
Alright.
Yeah, no good.
There we go. Oh, there you guys are. Alright, Loxon and ISO as you walk up. They've got the hole dug, the corpse in the hole, and it's, well, it's your go. What are you doing?
I guess we just. Oh, boy!
I figured I'd light that so we can see better.
That's true, yeah. So we decided just gonna bury the body.
Is it already done?
Yeah, with all the trouble you caused, we had plenty of time.
Excellent.
Also, if we're leaving this place, you'll go around with the horses.
Of course, there's no need for a distraction now.
You know, that woman did say that there was another woman here crying very heavily who had survived the attack on Elton. Do you think she might have more information for us if we asked about what the attack was like?
Perhaps, but it's usually also best not to disturb the grieving too much.
I mean, it was burned, according to the innkeep we spoke to. And the when they came back, everything was burned.
I've just not known undead to set fires to villages as if they were pillaging.
Well, to be fair, we did hear from the travelers looking for the key, if you will, that Odin went to Ailton. I can't remember if that was before or after. It was presumably burned, I think after.
I think there's more forces at work here than we might yet suspect.
It is awful tangly. Look, you two, I've learned through an associate of mine that I was speaking to on the other side of the shrine that Lord Gannison was recently in the small mining town of Goslar. It's a small run-of-the-mill place. You probably haven't heard of it. It's run by House of Shattenfang. Anyway, apparently he was looking.
Familiar.
Oh, you must be excellently schooled. I guess he was looking for doctors. His men were wounded doing something, and had returned to Fort Steverall, and they found the one doctor that was nearby in Goslar to extort. He couldn't apparently pay the man his fees, so they extorted him and brought him to Several and made him treat his men. And apparently he had as well, Lord Gannison had a scratch, as the doctor put it, that needed treating. Not sure what it was scratch of. He didn't seem to know or offer. Anyway, apparently he stole all the things from the good doctor, and who knows what else he's been stealing along the way. And he's auctioning off all kinds of things in Anjet, which is very far away from here. So it seems very, seems like Lord Gannison's very busy from coast to coast. But I figured I'd share that's the latest and greatest on his whereabouts and might be what he's doing.
Did he share anything about other, I guess, other regions of the world, the Rook world?
Any other regions? No, the man that I will refer to now is Mr. Frond, is just looking to fade away and be forgotten. Apparently, people of his previous order are hard to come by, hence why he was extorted. He did mention that the town of Goslar itself was not in a shambles. I figured it would have been in a worse state, but he didn't seem to indicate it was. You know,
That is good news.
Of interesting note, you know, the person I thought that would be ruling that town is not. Just the gossip is interesting. Apparently he caught some disease that Mr. Frond could not deal with, and he passed away.
Who rules there now?
I do not know. I assume his father still is doing so. It could be someone else. I'm sure there's a nice opportunity for a little mini power vacuum. It's a small town. It's very profitable mining, though. But Gerhard passed on. I thought maybe
trying to suppress a smile.
Say again, Ultra.
I said I'm trying to suppress a smile.
Oh, smile? Gotcha. Anyway, that's all I know. Figured I'd share. What now? Are we off back to Doongard? Or, I don't know, did you all decide to change it up, mix it up while we were gone, and did you chop off a head that we have to drop off here?
No. We've done what we must. And
I'm
the journey's
curious,
still going to Doomguard.
Doing God, what's the idea?
I'm curious, is Gosler, you said that was not in shambles. Is that on the way? And is it a
Oh,
place
from
you
here?
want to visit?
That's a good question. That's probably a question for the illustrious
On the way from from here
game
to
master.
where?
Yeah,
Doomguard.
No,
so
no, you're
from
in-
here to
yeah, you're on pretty much
Goslar.
the border of Rookwald. You're
the
you
edge,
even
southern edge.
passed yes, you even passed through the
Okay.
grinding wastes to get back to here. So it's kind of you're about as far
Okay,
south
yes.
in Rookwald as you can get.
So in my backstory, like Goslar is closer to where he was describing Fort Severa, anyway, which is kind of in the north.
Yeah.
And to the west, I think, is that the right direction? Yeah, for where the water is, because it's also kind of in between another port town that's over there. So somewhere between
The short answer
Severa
is
and
no.
that port town. Did you want to talk to the crying miss over there, Jothir?
I don't know. I just thought it might be something to pursue to see if she had any information about what's really going on out here. We seem to be getting different stories from different people. But as Niana mentioned, it might be best to leave a grieving woman alone.
Yeah, we've caused enough trouble here for today.
We could just always ask her how we could pray for her. Maybe then she'd share something.
True, but let's keep ourselves away from her, just in case.
Let's just keep the both of you away from her.
I'll
Hey,
just
I did
stay here.
nothing.
I'll hang out with the horses. It's fine.
I could hear you screaming from over here.
Hey, Kern, I was whispering.
Though,
I just
though
want to
my
shake
act,
my head.
though my act is over, they probably don't see it that way. So if she was paying any attention, I wouldn't want to disrupt your information gathering. So I'm happy to stay here.
I'm ready to leave when you guys are. But feel free to look around.
Just
So,
out of character,
Go ahead.
when we leave, are we passing back the way we? Well, we have to because that's where our horses are. Yeah. I am gonna pause and take a look around as we're on
Okay.
the way back, though.
Okay. So just to be clear, you're just dumping the dirt back on the body. You're not doing anything special, correct?
Exactly.
Well, make it a bit nice. Smooth it out.
Well,
but
I understand, but you're not cutting the head off. You're not cutting the
No.
heart out. You're
No.
not doing anything. You're not setting it on fire, right? You're just
No,
putting
no.
the body in their hole, burying it, done.
Yes.
yeah.
And you're now wandering back, you said, Jothir? Back through the shrine towards your horse?
I'm gonna stop at those two statues again.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
look around the shrine too.
Okay.
I guess I'm just going to look around, but not looking for anything specific.
Well, if you wander across something, just let me know.
I mean, you're probably gonna know what I'm gonna do.
Nope. I have no
wow,
clue.
really? Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying to grab this stupid torch and put it out. Okay, there we go. Alright. Jothir, you're wandering back towards these two statues. And you see him kind of from the side this time. This is pretty much the profile on your coin. You also catch a glint of something on the ground in front of the statues.
I walk close to the shiny object and lean in to look at it with the torchlight. I don't touch it though.
It looks like a coin that's just like yours. Scratches too. They're not the same exact pattern. You know, it's not like somebody stamped it on there again. It's just a different pattern of scratches. But the coin looks bloody, and as you kind of lift your torch up and look around, you see several of these coins. Some look normal, some with dried blood. But they're scattered all here at the feet of these two statues.
I pull the coin out of my my pouch again, and I break the case that was on it off of it. I hold the coin in my hand and I look at the statues and say, I know this isn't the original coin, but it is one that was taken from you at some point. So let it serve in its place. And I toss the coin to the ground. And then I look around at these statues. There isn't any. I'm looking for plaques. Anything written?
No. Everything just looks old, faded, eroded over. Nothing. You see several other small offerings around the base of them too. You know, just other items people would offer. Some burnt out candles, some incense, just pouches of money that have been weathered and just sitting there. Some bones, just various other items along with the coins, but no sort of instructions or message or anything like that.
There's no worshippers here. Nobody sobbing here.
No. In fact, as you recall, both approaching from both sides now, this area is actually in the dark compared to the rest of the shrine. There is no light over here at all. Yours is the only thing illuminating these two statues right now. In fact, if you kind of turn, you can look and see where the edge of the light ends.
I douse my torch in respect.
Anything else here at this statue?
Not if I'm not noticing anything.
No, everything around here kind of what you'd expect. Some small offerings, a few of those coins, and just an old eroded wall. No message, no pictures, nothing. Does anybody else want to look at anything while they're here in the middle, or?
Yeah, me.
Well, I'm just putting back some of the patches of grass that Ice has been thrown
Trod.
about.
Gotcha. Okay, Loxon. And the woman in front of you is just crying real uncontrollably, just bawling her absolute eyes out. She can barely hold her torch up straight.
Okay, is there anything on the ground?
Yeah, again, just small offerings. Same thing I kind of told him. No bones this time. You know, money, maybe some food, flowers, candles, burnt out mostly.
So
Just
nothing
all-
unusual.
Nothing unusual, no.
Someone took it, you bastard. Alright.
What are you talking about?
How do you not remember?
Well, you're looking for something unusual. As I recall, what you might have put here was not unusual.
Fine. Hell, how is that not unusual?
What did you put here? What did
You know
Archer
that-
put here?
That magical money thing.
How would you know that that's unusual?
I don't know. Alright.
As I said, nothing you put here is going to be unusual.
I'm fine. I just go to the armament. Oh, and I just want to say, ma'am, I heard what happened at your village, and I just want to say that I am absolutely sorry for what happened to you and your loved ones.
She looks at you and nods. I've had a lot of bad luck this past year.
Also,
I lost my sister. She left to help with someone with something and then never came back. It was actually very mysterious. She never said who it was. She just said she wanted to go help some people.
sorry to hear that.
She was always doing crazy things like that. She went all the way across the realm to Diothar. It was crazy, I told her.
Well, she was just his name.
Well, we all called her Nim.
Name's a name. That's a pretty unique name.
Well, her real name was Nimue, but she hated that. We just called her Nim.
Miss, I don't wanna disturb you even more, but I am one of I am one of Lord Janus's men, and he has asked me to make a report on what happened to your village. Now you don't now you don't have to if you're sorry, now you don't have to, but if you could, can I please get your point of view on what happened to your village?
She nods slowly and tries to control her sobbing. People were getting sick. Some of them were disappearing. And then the children. She pauses and breaks down. Gets her composure. And that's when my child died.
How did your child die, may I ask?
The doctor couldn't even tell me. He was healthy one day, sick one day, and dead the next day. There was nothing he could do.
And this illness wiped out your village?
She nods. Yes.
And there was nothing. And was there anything strange going around in your village? Anyone coming in?
Nothing strange. We had actually just had a little good fortune. My son, he had just made a little friend.
A little friend?
Yes, he was out playing in the woods and he found a little chestnut goat to play with.
Our character, I knew that fucking goat was would be trouble.
Smallpox goat.
Okay, I encounter a goat.
It was a friendly thing. We thought it got lost from somewhere, but no one came to claim it. I'm just glad it was there to help keep his mind off his sickness before he went.
Just for the report, what did the goat look like?
Chestnut goat? He called it Billy. He said the forest named it for him. He could hear someone. I assumed it was his imaginary friend. You know, it's always the children that have the imaginary friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's all I really need. Again, I am terribly sorry for what happened to your family, your friends, and everyone in your village.
You said everyone?
Yes, I was told that you were the only survivor.
She just drops to her knees, looking at you in shock. My parents are gone?
Well, no, we're still looking for everyone from your village.
So there's
You're
a
just
chance
the-
they're alive. She slowly stands back up, uses the statue to steady herself, looking at you.
We can only hope. We're still searching the area for people.
What happened? I left as soon as my child died to come here. What happened after I left?
I stare at Liana to please get out over here. You know, I give a help me out here look.
He's stretching for the ropes, looking for the tag.
Actually,
Nah, it's just picking up dirt clumps and putting them back in holes, apparently.
get out!
Is Jothier with you as well?
He's too busy doing a statue.
Yeah, I think Nyana's just picking up dirt.
Okay, I'm shooting.
Yep.
Okay,
just
you-
picking up
Oh,
dirt
there we
and
go.
Putting it back in the ground.
Yep.
Okay, you just gonna leave me to it. All right. Okay, fine. I'm gonna just do this way. I'm sorry, but I don't really know all the details about what happened. All I know is that quite a few people died there due to unknown reasons. I don't know if everyone's. I don't know if people are alive there or dead. Only that we are trying to keep everyone safe in your village. That's why we're going around the area looking for people so they don't, succumb to this illness in the forest and receive proper help.
The disease killed everybody? Is it safe to go home?
Truthfully, I do not know.
She begins intensifying her cries of anguish now. She's just falling apart right in front of you. All she keeps saying is, I've got to get home. I've got to get home. And she just sort of starts to crawl away from the statue. Slowly trying to stand up along the way.
Alright, so to prove that Lawson does have a heart, I'm gonna help the lady up. It's like, miss, calm down. There's always hope. That's, miss, you can only just, you can only hope that you're not alone in the village. That there are survivors.
She nods.
Now, someone has to have survived in that village.
What was your name, sir? Thank you for your kindness. I'd like to remember you.
I'm just called Lawson. I don't have a last name.
She pats you on the arm as she steadies herself. Thank you, Loxon. I won't forget the man who gave me hope. Thank you. She keeps sobbing, but just starts to head north.
Now about that magical money thing, CM.
That you don't know exists or wouldn't even know to ask or look for? What about
What?
it?
Never mind. I just want to know if he's there or not. But I don't even know what to look for, do I?
All right,
That's all right,
anybody-
Baltimore. Your RP is getting a lot better than I remember watching initially. So you're doing great.
Who's next? Anybody? Anything?
Well, I want to say to Luxan, can you please be a bit more careful if you just put all these patches back in the ground?
Thought you were going to scold him for giving the woman false hope.
No, I'm not eavesdropping, unlike some.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, so we all done here then? Heading back to the
Anyway,
horses?
anyway, and I just simply replied to Noyana. Well, I wouldn't all have to be careful if someone hadn't been rude.
Sorry, could you repeat?
I said I wouldn't have to be careful if Iso didn't drive the horse and the car over the grass.
Well, he did, so you need to be careful. Anyways, I'll see you at the horses, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my horse ready.
Jothir also walking to the horses?
Yeah, Jothir's walking to his horse now. Quietly.
Actually, wait.
Yeah, you brought Jothir his horse. Yeah, Jothir Luxon's brought you your horse.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, it's his horse. Okay, where's my horse then?
Is that the one down the road down there? Or no, that's not. You know what I think? Yours was the one that... I don't know where yours is. I don't think somebody might have gotten it or it might have accidentally been this one that got dragged. Which I remember you got off your horse, so here
There's
you go.
two by the cart.
Actually, I
Yeah,
don't
it
see...
might have been that one.
Yeah.
Actually, before I go on the horse. Guys, do we need a cart now?
It could have its advantages.
It's carrying
We
all of our
still need to-
supplies as well. So we yes.
It's also carrying a Semper still.
That's true.
Oh wait, please tell me we packed all the food in the one with Sempa and not the one with the body.
Jothir hops off
Oh.
his horse and starts checking the cart, checking for the supplies, but at the same time realizing, yes, Semper's in the cart. Oh wait, just out of character, did Semper receive coins from Isa when we split it?
ISO gives
ISO
Jothir a look.
ISO is near... where's ISO? I don't even see ISO.
I still up the hill.
He's been where he left. I mean, I'm over here with my stuff where you guys were burying bodies.
Oh, well, you're not... Yeah,
Right.
you got to ride over here towards
That's where I
them.
said I would be. No, I don't know if they left. I said I'll be here when you're done. Come get me.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, you're hanging out over there.
I
ISO's
guess
nowhere near.
What do I see him? Is that somebody on a hill back there behind me?
Is that...
No, that's a
Sem-
pawn.
Semper is... Semper was in the cart with the not dead person, so Semper's supposed to be here. I don't know where Semper is, but pretend he's in there so I don't have to fish him out.
He's in my cart. That's what I said. I have
Okay.
the Semper cart with ISO. I'm over here. I'll put
Okay,
a
then
tab
yeah,
on it.
you're right. This is the empty cart then, Jothir. Yeah, Semper not here.
Okay, well, I'm sure I would have seen that from my horse, so I wouldn't have
Yes, right.
jumped down. But I would ride quickly to catch up with ISO and tell him to hold for a moment so I could check Semper. Well, I would ask. Wait.
Okay.
Just out of character, ISO, did you give Semper one of the coins? I'm not sure if he was.
Everybody got one, I think.
Everybody
Oh,
got.
that's
Yeah,
true.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
If, yeah.
In character, I did tuck. I gave everybody a coin because I had the right amount for everybody. So we're still splitting loot at the time.
So you want to ride to ISO, right?
Yeah,
And
ISO's
ask him to
planning
hold.
when he gets the signal. Remember, he's planning on going around because he got scolded multiple times.
Oh, okay. Well, you
So
can
he won't be going
wave
back
your,
through.
wave your torch at him or whatever. I don't know what your signal is, or who's going to give the signal.
Well, Jothir's not pulling a cart, so I imagine Jothir would be able to, since they're not riding through the shrine, just be able to ride faster and catch up to him.
Okay, so you're going to ride to him.
Yes.
All right.
Pull over, this is the police. And since ISO already knows the situation, I would just tell him we never checked Semper's coins.
All right. Hang on. You other two, if you guys could just make your way up here, it'd be a lot easier.
Oh, Jothir, how did it go?
Those statues back there, they had the same image and visage that were on the coin, so the one that I purchased at Bone Drifts, I left there as an offering, hoping that if there was something following me that it wouldn't anymore, that would be enough of an offering. But I remembered we never checked Semper's purse.
Oh, fear you not. You all left me in his kind presence, and I took care of it. He is not mocked. Well, in that way. What about
Here.
Niana?
Hers,
No.
she didn't have a reptilian coin either.
Nyan and
So I
Laxon, you
think
coming?
I think we're good then, from that
Say what?
perspective.
Are you coming over
just
here?
look back.
I am on my way. But since they're having a conversation, I'm not going to interrupt yet.
Is there a conversation?
Here is.
Jothir maneuvers his horse over to the wagon and peers in, starts to just look at the supplies. Do you think we have enough for our next journey?
Yeah, oh yes, we have plenty of food. Many days. Just different things. You know, yesterday we ate mostly dried meats. Actually, out of character, let me say it like this. So, on my sheet, I bought many days of different things, right? I imagine we're having like a mixed diet as we feel fit. But in the sheet, for simplicity's sake, I'll mark off like 5 people's eatery for like one thing. And I'll just keep doing that until I'm out of stuff. So we have many days of rations. Hope that makes sense.
Well, we don't know
Uh,
how.
Constant, if you would rather me take all the things and break them into like hash marks or something, you know, on my sheet, and
Well,
do it
they-
that way, I could do that too. It's just more accounting.
Each day's worth of food was just like one ration.
Yeah, like for instance, I have 3 days worth of food for 5 people
Yeah, it's 15
in
rations.
vegetables, in just vegetables. That's what I'm
Correct.
saying. So like,
Yeah.
so I'm just figuring I'm breaking, you know, so for the accounting sake,
You
we
do it
might
however
eat
you want, as long as
a bunch of different
as
stuff.
long
but
as
that
you
day
only
I'll
count
mark
it
off all
for 15
vegetables.
days. Yeah,
Exactly,
I don't care
yeah,
how you do
that's
it.
what I'm doing. Okay, so right now we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 14 days in food. We have 2 more days in horse rations, so that's going to actually getting more low. And we have 4 more days in water if we don't go collect it along the way ourselves, if we're only drinking out of the water barrel we have. Water barrel. And horses can graze too, right? So the feed is when we're like in Doomguard, when there's nothing to eat, would be the preference. So you kind of
Yep.
travel a little slower because you let your horse eat.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Jothier would fish around in the cart on Semper's body, looking for his coin purse, and just tell the group, just in case we need extra money for any provisions. Who knows where our travel will take us? And we left the cart pretty much unguarded this time. We should be more careful. You never know when there's a thief around.
It's why I carry my silver on my body.